We've played 5 seasons, uncovered the 4th chapter, witnessed 3 main factions, watched 2 live events, all in 1 year of the ever-expanding story we call Fortnite. This tale begins midway through Chapter 3 Season 1, when earthquakes began tearing up the grounds of our new island. The Seven immediately identified this as the return of the Imagined Order, a faction who had been supposedly taken down in the chapter prior, but that was not the case. As it turns out, these antagonizing reality manipulators were actually planning on taking full control of the Flipside in an all-out war against the Rock and his buddies. But the Seven had other backup ideas, and as their rockets began searching desperately for war supplies, drills came up throughout the surface and the IO were ready to rain hell on what was once called home. As the island evolved, so did the war situation. Snow melted, fossils were uncovered, and Geno ordered a new base to be built in a random snowy mountain. But this wasn't his only plan at that moment though, as the Imagined Order were actually successful in taking down all of the Seven's rocket supplies except one. With no other choices left, the scientist made a desperate attempt to contact the Paradigm. She's a member of the Seven who had previously worked with the Imagined Order, and was now pretty much confirmed dead, but that did not stop this man from trying. It took this guy like 7 emotional audio logs or something to realize that she wasn't going to come in clutch just yet, but he still never fully lost hope. Not that that choice mattered anymore. The Imagined Order drills were continuously creating larger craters and potholes within the island, and if they weren't pushed back by a protagonist faction, any single one of their catastrophic plans was entirely possible for our new island. And so the scientists continued to wait. With still no response from the Paradigm, he began to lose total hope as the Flipside found itself in a desperate time of war, and this is where Season 2 begins. The Imagined Order and the Seven had been through constant battle for the entirety of the storyline. From missile launches to world-ending plans, it was about time the winner of this fight was finally determined. 3 missing members of the Seven, being the Origin, the Imagined, and the Order, returned to the group to fight off Geno's army, but Paradigm still wasn't playing a part and there wasn't any time to waste. The Imagined Order made the first move by disabling defense mechanisms across the island. This was quickly retaliated to by the Seven as the building returned and the fight to claim the island begun. The Origin continued to make plans on how the Seven would take down the IO airships and claim control of the entire island, and it was all going really well too. If this effort was kept up, things were looking really great for Reality Zero and the Seven. But the minds of our heroes were soon clouded, and focus was then taken away from what really mattered. To properly understand this part of the storyline, we have to take a look at the Seven individually. Foundation was leading the Seven in war. The Scientist was trying desperately to contact the Paradigm. The Origin was plotting new battle plans, the Visitor was considering retirement, the Imagined seeked answers to her past, and the Order was spying on Geno's plans with the Imagined Order. And the Paradigm, well, God knows where she is. Now the interesting ones are Scientist, Visitor, the Imagined, and Paradigm, because you'll quickly notice that they are not focused on the task at hand being the war. The Imagined especially. She has a dark past linked back to the Imagined Order, she's the daughter of Geno, and she hates what he's doing, yet somehow she isn't aware of any of that. In the Season 2 trailer, Imagined entered the island with no memory-sustaining helmet, meaning right then and there, thoughts of her entire past were just erased. Members of the Seven standing directly next to her were all wearing it, but she didn't have hers, likely due to the fact that it's only needed within Reality Zero, and she hasn't been back here in years. Anyways, the other members fill her in on the whole war thing, and she's quickly back to her normal self, just minus the trauma of her dark past, which she's still really interested to uncover. So she's distracted, and many of the Seven are too. This gives the Imagined Order time and space to create a doomsday device that will wipe out the entire island, and I guess the only thing that could have stopped this would have been a randomly crashed mech on a nearby moon of elemental inhabitants, but I guess that's just not possible. Never mind. Jones and the Imagined both leave Reality Zero, causing the Imagined's memories to come flooding back, and they recruit the help of many Marvel heroes such as Iron Man and Wolverine too, who... Together, they uncover a lost shard of the Zero Point that crossed realities after the whole Galactus thing in Chapter 2 Season 4. They plan to use it to power up the mech while Paradigm is still in it, and she's alive. Wow, this thing has really taken turns that I thought weren't possible, but you do you, Fortnite. The team reboots the mech into good shape, and before everyone has enough time to process things, the final battle of the Imagined Order and the Seven takes place. Sloan is heavily injured, possibly dead, Geno is thrown into the Zero Point, and the Seven have won, with the loss of the Imagined for now. Geno and his daughter are likely to have reconfigured their bodies outside of the Zero Point, but we can't confirm this just yet, let's just hope they're still alive. Meanwhile, the island is set right back into party mode, as reality's new threat arises once more. It's rewind time. Let's take it back to Chapter 1 Season X, where the 7th reality ending plan left us with a massive black hole, as well as a message from the scientist. I was not alone, others were outside the loop. This was not calculated, the nothing is now inevitable. To put it simply, when someone is outside the loop they can be killed, and there were people who sorta needed to stay alive that didn't because of what the 7 did in Season X. Now it sounds weird because I basically just told you that the heroes of our story killed people with their plan. But it wasn't really their fault. I mean, the others that he references are likely to be the imagined order anyways, because every single time they're gone, the nothing shoots its shot. And oh wow, would you look at that, they're back again. Here we go. In Season 3, the island takes on a new main attraction called the Reality Tree. It's a tree connected energetically to the 0 point, and the Nothing's Herald seems very interested in it for whatever reason. I mean, it's fascinating, it looks really cool, and it's spitting random objects out onto the island that cause world-ending shockwaves, but I mean, it's nothing out of the normal. That is until the members of the 7 begin to go missing. Everyone's comms are entirely shut off, and The Rock left his helmet on the floor. So did the Origin and the Visitor, and I guess we still don't get to see the scientist's face because he's hiding away in a bunker with the other two, studying a new chrome-like substance which is invading alongside the Nothing. Its plan is to consume and destroy everything, which it starts doing very quickly in Chapter 3 Season 4. Our next enemy is already here even though we just finished a war, and it starts to seem like this is actually as bad as it can possibly get. The scientist leaves his final message and assigns an AI named Amy to help us out. We try taking a deeper look into the Chrome, as well as contacting Paradigm from another reality, but even she has lost all the hope that she had. The scientist, the Origin, and the Visitor were all consumed right in front of her. The Imagined is possibly dead, and her sister is missing too. Same goes for the Foundation as well, who we still don't know what really happened to him, but that's alright. Point is, this is truly what will defeat our storyline heroes, and it pretty much does. This is the end. As the islanders gather around the tree, the Nothing gains stronger warriors than ever before, such as Bites and Raz. The Herald of the Nothing reveals herself as the final wish to destroy the island, and she sacrifices her own body to merge with the Chrome, disturb the 0 point, send a reality-ending shockwave out, and destroy all that we've known for the past 5 years. How great! So what do we do now? The Paradigm has a plan to initiate a process called Zero Fusion, which is the combination of land by the 0 point's energy to create a fully forged new reality island. This goes surprisingly well. And it seems as though the 0 point was the only thing that had a choice of what realities to combine. We get this idea from the fact that both the Paradigm and Amy were surprised at what it is bringing in, meaning they had no choice of what lands were being combined, only it had that choice. But it's all done for a reason, good or not, I mean, I hope it's logical. The autumn-like biome of the new island arrived due to what and who it carries. A younger snapshot of Geno called the Ageless is here at the Citadel, alongside a power known as the Kinetic Ore, which are both part of a bigger plan to rebuild Fortnite's imagined order. Despite their interesting tactics and various dangerous attempts over the past few decades, the 0 point seems to have faith that they will be redeemed as a new faction, who will massively benefit reality as a whole, seeing that the imagined order aren't really that bad, I guess. The snow biome features the reality warriors, who worship a woman that is possibly also in control of the 7, almost like a higher power of multiple factions, but that's just a theory. Now finally, we got the grass biome, which isn't seemingly much, but it offers the island's resource, food, and economic stability, so yeah, not so interesting in comparison to the other shards of land, but I'll take it, it's lore. Now the burning question that has everyone confused in the community right now is, where is Fortnite storyline headed? It seems like we've got no idea, but I actually have the answer. Donald Mustard is the chief creative director of Fortnite Storyline, and he says we are closer than ever to seeing the earliest version of the Imagined Order in Fortnite's timeline. I think this is a super smart way to inform us about the past of our crucial main factions without taking the easy route of, oh, they went back in time. No, they actually utilized the incredibly loved snapshot feature of this plot to sort of show a back-in-time version of our favorite groups in the storyline. So, what do you think of this? Have you enjoyed this past year of Fortnite Storyline? Drop a comment below, and I'm really excited to see you guys' thoughts.